I think a lot of people are in the mentality that they need $500,000 before they start a business, or they're going to work on a software for a year and then they're going to launch it. I'm the opposite of that. Get it out there as quickly as possible, prove there's an actual market, prove you can sell it, prove people like the service, and everything else will take care of itself afterwards.
Hi, everybody. It's Richard here and joined by Kylie. Hi, Kylie.
Hey there.
And welcome to the Conscious Marketer podcast. Today, we have a special guest, a very successful entrepreneur named Nathan Hirsch. Nathan is a lifelong entrepreneur, and I love this. He focuses on the unsexy or boring parts of entrepreneurship, bookkeeping, and hiring. Side note, I think that for seasoned entrepreneurs, those are some of the sexiest parts, because when you have those in control, it really fuels everything. So I actually think they're quite relevant. He is the CEO of Ecom Balance, Accounts Balance, and Outsource School. And he has really an amazing success story. He started a company called freeup.net 2015, and initially started with just seed funding of $5K, and eventually scaled that to $12 million in revenue. And often on the Conscious Marketer podcast, we're talking about the impact you make, but the money and the income is equally important. So I'm excited to jump in and hear about how he did that. And he currently runs a few companies, a monthly bookkeeping service, and he leads Ecom Balance, Accounts Balance, and also has something called Outsource School. And we'll be talking a little bit about how to find VAs. Hi, Nathan, and welcome to the Conscious Marketer podcast.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
And maybe we could just jump right in. Maybe you could share a little bit about your backstory. And it sounds like you hit it really well with that first business, but is there a backstory to maybe you had a few failures before there? Or how did you get into starting that and growing and actually being successful?
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, my parents were both teachers. So I was in the mentality, like, go to school, get a degree, get a real job, work for 30 years, retire. That's what my parents did. And they're retired right now, living their best life. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I knew at an early age that that's not what I want to do. My parents made me pay for anything that I wanted, from video games to a car. So I was working at a very young age, 14, 15, and learned a lot about sales and customer service and business, but also learned that I hated working for other people. So when I got to college, I started hustling. I created a textbook reselling business out of my college dorm room, created a referral program. I lined out the door of people trying to sell me their textbooks, to the point where I got a cease and desist letter from my college telling me to knock it off and stop competing with the school bookstore. So that was my first glimpse into being an entrepreneur. And I had this Amazon account that I was selling these books on, and did a lot of trial and error and found drop shipping baby products. This was 2008, 2009, the early Wild Wild West days of Amazon. And before I knew it, I was running a multi-million-dollar Amazon baby product business out of my college frat house, making every bad business decision that a 20-year-old makes in terms of hiring and bookkeeping. And a lot of the stuff that I preach today were mistakes that I made. So Amazon was great. It was a nice cash cow. Timing was perfect. But Amazon became harder and harder throughout the years, and a lot more competition. And we had all these virtual assistants that we had used for the Amazon business after we had realized that college kids were very unreliable when we were hiring a lot of them. And we started offering these VAs to other online business owners. And this was a brand new business for us. It was a lot of fun. It was our first B2B business. We had to learn everything that goes with that, including building a website and SEO and marketing and going on podcasts and partnerships. And we ended up creating this organic marketing blueprint that helped us scale it to doing $12 million a year before being acquired, which is a whole nother story we can talk about if you guys want. And we took this organic marketing blueprint, and now we not only teach it in Outsource School, but we apply it to our businesses. We have Outsource School. We do the same blueprint there. Our 2 monthly bookkeeping brands, Ecom Balance and Accounts Balance, same thing there. And it really drives all the traffic, and it helps us get customers and grow. And other people can hopefully learn from this and take it and apply it to their own business. So that's kind of the short version of how I went from textbooks to baby products to free up to what I'm doing today.
That's amazing. And You just mentioned organic marketing strategies. I know a lot of our audience is really intimidated by Facebook ads and Google ads and YouTube ads and things of that nature. And if they could do everything organically, they would absolutely love that. Can you share a little bit about your blueprint with us?
Yeah, so let's go through it a little bit. It starts with a good affiliate program, a good referral program. That's the basis for everything that we do. So with FreeUp, we said, hey, we'll give you 50 cents an hour for every hour that we build to someone that you refer to us forever. And by year 4, we're paying out $400,000 a year plus in referral money. That's a lot of 50 cents. But you want something that is reoccurring, something that stands out from the competition, something that you actually put on your website. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to give you 10% of our revenue that we get from a referral. It's got to be a page on your website that you can direct people to. And you want to say it at the end of every call. I just got off a sales call before this. At the end of the call, before I let you go, this is for my bookkeeping brand. We offer $50 a month reoccurring for anyone you refer for as long as you're a client. It's a great way to lower your bookkeeping costs or make money. And when you're training salespeople, by year 2 of FreeUp, we had salespeople. We taught them at the end of every call, you tell people about the referral program. It's at the bottom of every email that anyone at any of my companies sends. It's right there. It's in our invoices that we send people right at the bottom. And when someone creates an account with us, and we use custom software, but there's affiliate tools like Pay Kickstarter and stuff like that, they get an automatic affiliate link that's created for them that they don't have to do anything. And then we tell people, hey, you can either use the affiliate link, you can introduce people directly to us, you can have them just sign up and mention your name, whichever easiest for you. We're going to make sure you get credit for it. We want to pay you affiliate money. We'll even backdate it if you come to us 2 months later and say, hey, I referred Bob. So that's the basis of everything you do. And we'll talk about some other stuff. And some people will want to be affiliates. Some people won't want to be affiliates. People might only want to be affiliates. People might want to be customers and also refer people. But the affiliate program is that basis, and making it so it's easy to say, easy to remember. You have a page for it. You're repeating it over and over and over. That's the key to everything else that you're going to do.
Just kind of walk it back. If somebody was like, well, I don't have any affiliates and why would somebody promote me? What are just a few great ideas for somebody that wants to create an affiliate program or wants to start to partner with other people? How can they start to set up an affiliate program? Because I think it's a really important point. And we're doing a summer camp this summer and actually teaching an affiliate webinar series for our group because we think it's so important. But what would be your, like, say, your top 2 or 3 tips about building an affiliate program that actually works versus something that just sits on your site and kind of collects electronic dust?
Yeah, I mean, the best affiliates are your own customers, right? A lot of people listening might have clients that want to refer other clients, and just having that affiliate program in place is key. And it can also be something that saves them money. If you're running a coaching program that's $1,000 a month, hey, everyone you refer, I'm going to take $250 off your monthly invoice for as long as they're a client. So that's the baseline of it, is really your own clients. And then as you go, you'll get other affiliates. And I'll kind of jump into part 2 since we're leading up to it. And that's partnerships with other people in the space. What we did with FreeUp, at first we targeted e-commerce, virtual assistants, and freelancers. We would go to e-commerce businesses and offer our VAs to them. So we went to all the other e-commerce software companies and said, hey, you don't provide VAs. We don't provide e-commerce software. You've got an email list of e-commerce sellers. So do we. Let's do cross promotion. You promote us, I'll promote you. Some people might want to be affiliates. Some people might want to just be interested in the cross promotion. We'd sign up for other people's affiliates programs. And once you build up those partnerships, you can do a lot of creative things. You can have a blog and do guest articles on your blog, or vice versa. You can do those email blasts. Some people might have other forms of video content, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube video. We have a partner directory for all of our companies. So we load up our partners into our directory whenever someone comes to, let's say they're a bookkeeping company and they come to me and they want help with Facebook ads. We don't do that. We say, hey, go check out our partner directory. All our partners are right there, and other people might have the same thing. And the key to a good partner program is being organized on your side. We have a virtual assistant who runs it. Some partners, the bigger ones, are every 3 months, smaller ones, 6 months, smaller than that every year. And we reach out to them and say, hey, it's been a quarter since we did something. what do you want to do together this quarter? And they might say, hey, I'm too busy. Let's skip a quarter. They might say, hey, last time we did a blog post, let's do a newsletter blast this quarter. And you're keeping it organized on your side. You're getting in front of other people's communities that have your ideal customers. And again, affiliate program is the basis for everything. So they can get a kickback if they get you clients, and vice versa. You might be able to get a kickback if you're promoting their stuff to your clients. So that's a big part of what we do, is creating really good partners with other people in your space. And people listening should be thinking, what are those really good partners? What does a good partner look like? Where do my customers hang out? What other tools, what other communities are my ideal customers using or hanging out in?
I love that. And I used to be an affiliate manager, so I kind of know the insides and outs of how that all works. I'm super curious. How do you set your partners and your affiliates up for success? Because a lot of it depends on us to make sure that they mail, to do the work, to win. How do you address that?
Yeah, the key is to make it as easy as possible for both sides. So we've got one spot in our newsletter that goes out every week that's for partners, and we just line it up and schedule it out. We have swipe copy that when we want someone to promote in their newsletter, it's already written for them and they can tweak it if they want to, but they don't have to. We have lead magnets that make it super easy. Hey, we got this ebook that is the common mistakes of bookkeeping. Can you throw it out and promote it in your newsletter? And it's not a hard sell, but it's some way for someone to get on our list and get some value out of it. So the key is being organized on your end and making it as easy as possible. Everything from graphics to videos to swipe copy already made, ready to go, that you can give out to partners. And then being very strategic on how you're going to include partners on your own side. We post, I think, 3 blog articles a week. One of them is a guest post. So we've got 4 guest post spots open a month, and we'll fill them with partnerships. So that's really the key to all of it.
Yeah, and I think one of the big shifts that you can make is that I think sometimes when you make an ask and you're asking people to become an affiliate, it's kind of like, do this for me. But I think what you're saying is it's really reciprocal, where you're trying to help them and they're trying to help you. And I think it's just flipping it around so that I think a lot of people have a hard time asking for things. I think it's one of those like skills that when we're young, we're not taught very well, because we feel like we're going to owe somebody something. But in this case, you're trying to offer them an opportunity actually to both make some more money and, create more impact with whatever the product or service that you're selling is too. Maybe we could just shift gears a little bit, because I know you're really an expert at outsourcing a lot of things like virtual assistants and accounting. And I know when we first started, I was trying to do a lot of the accounting myself. And then I went through a few bad bookkeepers, which was almost worse. And then I found a good bookkeeper and a couple of good assistants. And it's literally been one of the keys to helping me scale my business. But I know it's something that a lot of people struggle with. They struggle with where to find them. Like, what do I ask for? How do I do it? And then there's also just the inner mentality of, like letting go of stuff that they shouldn't be doing either. Could you maybe give us a VA 101 for our community on how you approach VA and outsourcing, and how your approach is maybe different from what other people do?
Yeah. So think of it this way. There's 3 different levels of people that you can hire. You've got followers, you've got doers, and you've got experts. So when I say virtual assistant, I'm talking about the followers, usually $5 to $10 an hour. I like to hire from the Philippines. I hire people with years of experience. I'm not hiring people that have never been a VA before, but I'm only hiring a VA and a follower if I have a process that I want them to follow, a process that I could do myself that is just taking up too much of my time, that isn't a good use of my time. And that's what I'm hiring a VA for. You have to have an SOP, a standard operating procedure for them to follow, and you can make tweaks and adjustments to it, but that's what a follower is for. Then you've got the doer, the freelancers, a specialist. It could be a graphic designer or a video editor. They're there to do one thing. You're not teaching someone how to be a graphic designer. They probably have other clients. You're hiring them usually project-based. They do graphic design 10 hours a day. And the beauty of the doers is that you can take them from business to business. I've got 3 graphic designers that I use for multiple companies. They've got other clients, and we assign due dates and assign projects. And every time I need a graphic design done, I don't have to post a job and start interviewing people. I already have these good people that I've used before ready to go. And as an entrepreneur, you want to build up this Rolodex of freelancers, of doers. And then you got the experts, the coaches, consultants, agencies, because as an entrepreneur, you can't learn how to do everything, right? Like bookkeeping, you shouldn't spend time learning how to be a bookkeeper. That's a terrible use of time as an entrepreneur. You're probably going to have to redo your work anyway, because most entrepreneurs are not good at bookkeepers. You want to hire an expert to come in, and you're not teaching them, you're not giving them an SOP. They know how to do bookkeeping, and it can be a collaboration. Same thing with Facebook ads. You might be able to take a course on how to run Facebook ads, but you can't do that for every single thing. At some point, you need to hire an expert that already knows how to do it to come into your business. So that's kind of how I think of it. For hiring a VA, you want to create a list of all the things you do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, and start with the easiest things. And if you've never hired before, and we've got a lot of great like free hiring packages at Outsource School, you want to start with something that isn't going to hurt your business if it goes wrong. The next part of the organic marketing blueprint is going on podcasts. I've been on 700. Hiring a VA to pitch you to go on podcasts is a pretty easy way to start hiring a VA. And if they mess up and they don't get you on any podcasts, you're going to be completely fine. And you're going to learn a lot about hiring. It's going to build your confidence in hiring people. And eventually you're going to be able to move on to more important stuff like customer service that does matter a little bit more, that needs to be done correctly for your reputation. And the lessons you learn with the podcast or running a partnership program or whatever with your VA is going to help you with those more core operations in your business, if that makes sense.
Where can people find a good VA? You're definitely selling it for us and for our audience. So where do people begin to look? That's a question we get all the time. People are ready to outsource, but they just don't know the process.
Yeah, I mean, so Outsource School, we don't provide VAs. We just give you our hiring process, like interview questions, onboarding questions, stuff like that. I mean, the marketplaces to use are FreeUp. Obviously, I'm biased, but I still use FreeUp, even though I don't own it anymore. Online Jobs PH is another. Fiverr, Upwork, those are the top four that you want to look into. There's other agencies and stuff out there, but that's usually my starting point. And then it all starts with a good job posting. If you join Outsource School, we've got 50 job posts ready to go that you can just take and tweak and upload them. But those are the marketplaces that you want to hire on.
I think you've given us some really wise wisdom there. And I love the delineation between the three types: the followers, the doers, and the experts. And definitely through the years, we've used all of them. We could probably use a lot more followers where we hand people SOPs and they just do things. I think that's probably one of the things we could probably do better. In terms of once you have a VA, Nathan, what's the best protocols to manage your VA? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs don't consider themselves a manager. Is it that you actually need an operations director to start to manage all these VAs, or is it something that, you know, the owner should be doing or can do?
Yeah. So what you don't want is to have 10 VAs that all report to you. That's going to get crazy and stressful at some point. So what I always like to do is the initial VAs I hire, like the first 2 to 3 in my company, I want to hire people that want to be future leaders, that want to be future managers. And then I want to groom them and train them from within and promote from within to be those managers and be those team leaders. And I think a lot of people struggle when those initial VAs are just good at one task and they have no desire to be leaders, because then you're hiring other people to come in to be leaders. And then you've got the new people managing the old people, and that can get a little bit messy. So the key with FreeUp is the first 4 people that we hired, we promoted them to team leaders, 2 on customer service, 1 on recruitment, 1 on billing and bookkeeping. And then we put new people underneath them. And that's really the key to all of it. And we had 1 out of the 4 that was the team leader of everyone. And then the other people would manage their particular team. So that's how you want to build it out. It's important you find people that want to be leaders. It is something you can teach, but not if they don't want to do it. So that's a big key there. And you want to teach them like how to communicate issues with you. Like, what do they handle versus what do they escalate to you? And then over time, teach them how to handle more and more situations, teach them how to run one-on-one meetings with other people. Like the way to set it up is you have an all hands meeting with your entire team Monday morning. And then you might have a customer service meeting on Tuesday and a marketing meeting on Wednesday. And then eventually teach those VAs as they become leaders to run those meetings without you. And that's getting into a good rhythm and a good process that's going to keep you working on your business instead of inside of your business.
How do you vet VAs when you're about to hire them? Like, what's the process and what are you really looking for in a VA when you're starting to do the hiring process?
Yeah. So we like acronyms at Outsource School. So with interviewing, we call it our CARE interview process. And that stands for communication, attitude, red flags, and experience. So what a lot of people do wrong is they just vet for experience, for skill. And I can't tell you how many hires I've made that were very talented, but were terrible fits for my company because they didn't have the right attitude and they didn't have the communication skill. So for communication, you want to make sure, obviously, they speak your language at a high level, but more importantly, that they can respond quickly, get on the same page quickly, that you can actually understand what they're saying, that they can answer your questions directly. For attitude, you want people who care about more than just money, because there's always someone out there that can pay your people more than you can. So they have to care about growth and self-development and becoming a leader, stability, whatever it is outside of that, and people that are going to actually buy in and treat your company like their own. So that's what we look for. And when you're interviewing, instead of looking for the right answers, you want to look for the wrong answers. What is someone telling you that shows they don't have the experience they say they do, they don't have the right attitude for your company, or they don't have the communication skills that you need for your business? And this is an interview process we teach at Outsource School. And then the second big key that a lot of people miss, let's say you have a really good interview, before they actually start with your company, you want to onboard them. You want to set expectations with them. And we call this our SICK onboarding method: schedule, issues, communication, culture. And you want to go through the schedule they'll be working and what flexibility or non-flexibility that you have there. You want to go through the common issues that people have with VAs, like power interruption, internet outage, personal issues, and how you handle it, what backups they have, and make sure that you set the expectation that you can't just disappear for 3 days. And if your computer breaks, you can't just not work for a month. There needs to be a backup plan there, and don't hire someone unless they have the backup plan. Communication, how you use email and Slack and different channels. What happens if their power goes out? How do they communicate that to you? And then culture, what is the actual culture in your business? We, like for our bookkeeping brand, we've got 5 parts of our culture that are our company values, and we go through it with them and make sure they understand what it is. And once we're done with that SICK interview method, and it sounds like a lot, but it's really a 20-minute conversation, you're going to give them a chance to back out, because you'd much rather they back out if they say, hey, your expectations are too high, or this doesn't seem like the right fit for me, than for you to spend 3 months training them only to realize that it's not a good fit. So that's really the key, is finding that person that has the trifecta of skill, attitude, and communication, and someone that you set expectations with and they agree to those expectations before they even start on day one.
Yeah, this is like so helpful. This is such practical, useful advice. Thank you, Nathan. I'm kind of curious, Nathan, you've built, you're running 3 companies now and you sold 1. How do you schedule your week? How do you manage your time? How do you kind of interact so that you can be really productive to grow your business? I'm kind of curious how you approach that, because it seems like you're so successful at what you do. Can you share a few ideas there, or kind of give us a look into your day?
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, it depends where you are in your business. Like Outsource School, we've gotten to the point where it pretty much runs without us. We've got team leaders, we check in with them, where our bookkeeping brands are newer. So we're still taking sales calls to develop that sales process. We're still much more involved on the even though we're not really involved in the bookkeeping, because we've got good bookkeepers managing that, we're much more involved in running the marketing team and stuff like that, where eventually we'll hire a team leader to kind of take that over. But I mean, my typical day is talking to potential new clients on vetting that out, meeting with our team leaders. Like we just had a team leader meeting right before this with our bookkeeping team leaders to go through current projects, current issues, help them problem solve a little bit, have them run their plans by us first before they implement them so we can give them feedback. And again, we're grooming them to be even better leaders and better managers, and getting them to think out of the box a little bit more. So that's where we spend our time. And then the organic marketing blueprint, and making sure that's running on all cylinders, because once we get something going, like once we got the free up operations going, then our job is to pump as many clients into the funnel as humanly possible, by going on podcasts, by establishing good partnerships, whatever it is. And same thing with the bookkeeping brands. We've got a great bookkeeping team that is firing at all cylinders right now. Now we got to pump in clients, and then any issues that come up, use that to improve the processes even more. So that's really how we divide up our day.
As far as your organic marketing blueprint goes, is there anything that you would love to share with people that we didn't already talk about, or how can people kind of access more about that?
Yeah, so let's kind of go through. We had an affiliate program. We talked about partnerships. We dabbled on podcasts a little bit. Podcasts are great for SEO. They're great for networking. They're great for backlinks. They're great for being an authority figure in your space. So going on a few podcasts every single month is going to really help your business. And we've got a whole podcast outreach formula on how to do it with VAs that's available through Outsource School. Influencers is another big one. Some might want to be affiliates. Some might not want to be, but these are people that have a following. They might have a Facebook group. They might have a lot of followers on Instagram. Again, relevant to your space. You're not just contacting Kim Kardashian. We're talking about influencers that fit your needs. So in our case, e-commerce influencers, people that have really good e-commerce courses or post a lot of content daily on LinkedIn about e-commerce. Those are the influencers that we're trying to partner with.
How do you find podcasts to be on? Like, what's your outreach process?
So the way that we set up the organic marketing blueprint and the way we teach it at Outsource School is you have your VA doing research for you, and you're waking up every day to a list of 5 potential partners, 5 potential influencers, 5 potential podcasts. It could be 10, it could be 15, tweak it however you want. And then I like to actually do the outreach because I'll do quick research in there, but it's all in my inbox ready to go with their social media links. I can do a quick research, do a quick outreach, and then move on with my day. And if every day you're reaching out to those 5, you're way ahead of most entrepreneurs when it comes to outreach. And 2 years down the line, you're going to be reaching out to a lot of people. So getting into that habit of consistent outreach where you know you're going to get rejected, you know there's going to be failure. Yeah, there's going to be a little follow-up in there. That's really the way to do it. And opportunities come up. You'll get an influencer that will respond to you that'll be really good, or people will have heard from you just from the outreach, or that big podcast will say, hey, there was a cancellation, we'll let you on. But the key is that consistent outreach for everything in the organic marketing blueprint. I got a few more and I'll wrap it up. So the next one is content. We publish a lot of just content on our blog, stuff like that, all ranked for keywords, and you can use guest articles and stuff like that. The second to last one is backlinks. So finding other directories online, other people with high ranking domain websites, and getting them to backlink to your website. And again, that's outreach. You can reach out to people that have high ranking blog articles and ask if they'll include you. And then the last thing is reviews. When you have customers that are happy, I'm talking about real customers, not fake ones, having them leave reviews on the most popular review websites, whether it's Google, SiteJabber, Trustpilot, and over time, those review sites are going to be top of Google when people Google your name or Google your business, and it's all kind of goes together. If you have a good affiliate program and you're partnering with other people in the space that are promoting you, and you're consistently getting on podcasts, and you're working with influencers, and you're putting out content on your own blog, and you're getting backlinks to other domains, and people that like your service are leaving you good reviews, all of this is going to get in front of lots of people month over month over month. And it's a snowball effect that's going to end up getting you a lot of clients. And all of it can be done using virtual assistants, which we have our SOPs at Outsource School.
It's such an amazing amount of value provided. And I think, I'm listening to you and thinking, we need to do that, or we should do more of that too. So I might be a client of yours pretty soon here at Outsource School. I think you've got a lot of great information there. A lot has changed. I've been around since 2005. I don't know, what's that, 18 years? And it sounds like you started around the same time. What's the key differentiator from those that you see kind of using some of your strategies and making it? And is the environment a little bit different, or are there things that you would definitely encourage people to do differently? So kind of what's the attitude people need to be successful, and, how are things a little bit different and maybe the same right now?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's all about consistency. Like, I would rather be consistent over a big sprint any day. And to me, it's like, hey, I'm going to reach out to 5 podcasts every day, 5 days a week, going forward. That's just part of my day. It's the first thing I do every day. And it snowballs. And then the other thing is just the mentality of not being angry over rejection. I get rejected all the time. People ignore me. Like, that's just part of it. And anyone that knows sales understands that. But there are people that have rejected me that I followed up down the line in a nice, non-aggressive, non-angry way. And down the line, they've let me on their podcast, or they've agreed to be my partner or my client, or whatever it is. So for me, it's that consistency day in and day out, and understanding that you're playing the long game and that things are going to build on top of each other as you go. And consistency works for everything. Let's say you're doing cold outreach to get clients. You can't just reach out to 5 potential clients, get rejected, and say, hey, it's over. You got to do it every single day going forward. And the same is true for anything that you're doing in marketing or sales or any part of your business. So focus on being consistent there. The other thing I'll add is just minimum viable product. I'm a big fan of getting a minimum product out there, proving you can actually sell it before investing a lot of time and effort into really building it out. And we did that with FreeUp. We offered some clients some free hours of VAs to try us out and give us feedback. And if no one took us up on that offer, we were moving on to a different venture. Outsource School, when we launched our first course, we gave it out at a discount. If people hated it, we would have just refunded everyone and moved on to something else. Bookkeeping, we gave out 2 free months of bookkeeping, used it to get feedback. And if all those people that got 2 free months didn't stay on afterwards, again, we would have just shut it down and moved on to something else before we invested a lot of time and effort. So I think a lot of people are in the mentality that they need $500,000 before they start a business, or they're going to work on a software for a year and then they're going to launch it. I'm the opposite of that. Get it out there as quickly as possible, prove there's an actual market, prove you can sell it, prove people like the service, and everything else will take care of itself afterwards.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I definitely think like moving into that place where you're so passionate about whatever you're doing that you can handle that rejection, because you know that you'll crack through, and it's just kind of part of life. Nathan, thank you so much for your time today and for all your advice and ideas. Can you share how people can reach out and work with you?
Yeah, connect or follow me on LinkedIn, Nathan Hirsch. I post a lot of tips daily on the boring parts of business, hiring and bookkeeping. You can check out outsourceschool.com or accountsbalance.com if you're interested in my business. And yeah, I'm pretty easy to find online. Love connecting with other entrepreneurs. Feel free to hit me up, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Nathan. And thanks all the listeners for being on today. If you want to get the show notes and the links to Nathan's companies, you can go to consciousmarketer.com/podcast. We have all our podcasts there, and you can sign up for our newsletter list as well. Thanks again, Nathan, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks all the listeners, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.